For the people who are in the room who are not journalism people.
Last Tuesday, the Society of Professional Journalists held a sports reporting panel in the Adante Student Center. Hartford Current writer Dama More and Gabby Lucivero of Channel 30 taught the students about sports journalism and how it has changed over time.
You have to kind of tip your hat to the world in which we live, because there was a time when there just weren't that many media covering maybe a lot of colleges or a lot of even pro teams. And it was possible to not have that filter in place. Old-time writers will tell you the stories of the early Super Bowls, where you'd go to the Green Bay Packers PR director and say, "Hey, I want to talk to, Jim Taylor or Paul Hornung," and he would say, "Well, he's up in room 320. Go ahead and see him." And you'd go knock on the door, and you've probably seen the picture from Super Bowl III with Joe Namath by the pool, and a lot of New York writers around it. But with the number, there's 2,000 reporters at the Super Bowl now. So it's impossible, it's just impossible to do that. So there's got to be some direction of traffic.
Students also asked questions of advice on how they should handle sports journalism.
My first internships was working on Cape Cod in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And I thought that I had been hired as an intern to be a field reporter. I showed up the first day and I was their play-by-play broadcaster. You will never find a tape of me doing play-by-play because those have all been destroyed, but I did 55 play-by-play baseball games. And as much as I thought I knew that sport, apparently I didn't. So it was just sitting down and realizing, and so that night I went home and I've watched countless Sox games, but I'd never really thought about the craft of actually having to tell somebody about that game. So I fill 2 hours of radio time every week at BU, I'll be fine. It's a completely different animal. So for me, that was going home, listening to games over and over again on the radio, on TV, figuring out, okay, well, I've got to do this now. And so for me, it was, I realized as much as I love baseball, I needed to learn the game more. So I would go to baseball games and sit down and I would keep score. And so that's kind of my favorite way to figure out how to learn a game is I'll get a scorebook and I sit down and I keep score, whether it's at a game or on TV. And I think that's a great way to kind of learn the rules of a sport you're not used to. Or I know nothing about soccer. But for me, I sit down, I try to, it's not hard to keep score, but try to figure out, what's going on in the game. And, that's my favorite way to learn about something.
I know what Southern students go through, and I know that Southern students have been very successful in journalism because they want it so badly. You have to want it badly to come through here and fight for a job. So I identify with Southern students, and I'm always kind of energized when I come and talk to them. Just want them to learn that it's still a profession with a lot of honor and a lot of reward, and it's still a lot of fun, and it's still possible to make it despite the changes and despite the erosion that the profession industry has suffered the last 10, 12 years.
Reporting for SESU TV, I'm Sidney Jones.